Welcome back to Theresa.is.Dead. My name is Theresa and I'm very much alive. And if you're new here, welcome. I have an awful garbage mouth. And if you're not into that or weird shit in general, then this is probably not the place for you. Feel free to X out the video here. No harm, no foul, but I'll remember our time fondly. If you want to jump straight to the swatches and the review of the products, I'll leave a time code down below. Feel free to jump ahead. So, my little pumpkins, a couple of things. One, as you can tell, I sound like shit. And I'm sorry, but I'm just so fucking bored. I'm not a good sick person. Okay, it's two things. One, I usually am a fucking baby and I'm like, oh, hold me and cuddle me and feed me soup. I do that. And then the other part of me is like, I need to do something, otherwise I will rip my fucking skin off. And that's why I'm making this video today. I am coughing, but I just took a shitload of cough medicine. So if I say anything weird, let's just blame that. I feel like that should be my disclaimer for all my videos. I just took a lot of cough medicine. Wow. All right. Anyway. I'm going to leave that in there because I don't give a shit. The other thing I do want to mention is that you might hear annoying sounds in the background. That is my fan. And the reason why I have my fan on is because when you live in a shitty fucking house in Queens, you really have no control of your heat. It comes on when it wants to and it shuts off when it wants to. So because of that, it's really, really warm in here, and plus I have my ring light on and all kinds of shit, so I had to have a fan on. Flip side of that is that I'm also cold at the same time, hence why I have this hoodie on. I feel like I'm going through menopause. Now, for those who are going through menopause, I apologize if that joke offends you, and my heart really aches for you, because if this is any indication of what you go through, I don't think I'll survive. I think I might as well just end it now. So, to all the ladies out there going through menopause, bitch, I feel you. You ladies, like, you deserve more than a medal. You deserve, like, a fucking year vacation. Like, all expenses paid to wherever the fuck you want to go. Because if it's any indication, shit, that sucks. On that note, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. I do want to share like a weird story that happened at work. Was it last week? Maybe the week before. I don't remember. Anyway, I had to go to a meeting, right? And the meeting before actually had a very big like lunch spread. So it had like sandwiches and pickles and all that good shit. Now, I am not a pickle person. I hate pickles. Pickles are gross. And I'm sorry if you like pickles, you're wrong. Pickles are nasty. And it's really funny because I feel like I'm such a minority here because a lot of people love pickles. It's either you love them or you hate them. It's never like, yeah, pickles are alright. So I personally hate pickles. Like, I will never like pickles, okay? Never like them. I don't care what you guys say. If you're like, oh, have you tried the bread and butter pickle? No, I don't care. I don't like any pickles. Pickles are nasty, bitch. Alright. But if you like them, that's totally fine. Anyway, before we had our meeting, there was like a huge like lunch spread or whatever, right? And so the admin were like kind of like taking all the food out and kind of putting it like in our general pantry area or whatever. So that's usually when the scavengers come around. They send that one email out and then all the scavengers kind of like roam around the kitchen and just grab sandwiches. And usually that's when you find all the weird people that have like Ziplocs that are like shoving 10 sandwiches in to bring home to their friends and family. Whatever. I'm not judging, but it's just really, really strange that they do that out in the open. But whatever. So the meeting that I'm in, it's with Bob, right? And if you're not familiar with Bob, just go watch my old videos. Like, Bob is an awesome coworker I have that's just like, something's wrong with his brain. Something's not right up here. I don't know what it is, but dude's fucking crazy. It always creates an interesting story. So I'm in a meeting with Bob and a couple other people, whatever. And so one of these admins are walking out with a tray of pickles. And Bob literally fucking stands right in front of her, like this, like really like almost not aggressive, but kind of like, halt, don't go through here. Kind of like Legend of the Hidden Temple guards. You know what I mean? Like they were just like, I hope people get that reference, but whatever. Anyway, so he's like,
hey. Where are you going with that tray of pickles?
And I just started laughing. I just started laughing because I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And the admin kind of like looked at me for laughing and she's like,
I'm bringing it to the pantry area so people can have pickles.
And he went,
no, I'll take it here.
This man takes a tray of pickles, right? And the tray is probably like maybe like a white plastic tray of like this big. All kinds of pickles. And they looked, and I say all kinds because they looked a little bit different. So we all headed to the conference room. Bob puts a tray of pickles down on the table. Not in the middle of the table, but just directly in front of him. Now, I have the pleasure of sitting across from him because I just wanted to see how this was going to unfold. And the meeting was going to be so boring anyway, I didn't give a shit. So I'm watching him, you know, just eat pickles, right? And these pickles are loud. Like, no one else is eating, and you just hear them like, snap, crunch, snap. The person running the meeting was like,
Bob, do you mind actually holding off on eating the pickles? So, I'm sorry, I'm just a little distracted. I just want to kind of run through this meeting really quickly, and then you can go back eating your pickles.
Bob's just like,
Yeah, sure, no problem.
he takes the tray of pickles and he leaves the room. So Bob comes back into the meeting with a styrofoam cup. So he took the cup, slowly tilting it to his face, unhinging his mouth like a snake. And I watched him eat pickles out of a cup. I guess he was trying to be slick and to kind of be like, no one's gonna question if I'm eating pickles out of a cup, as opposed to on a snack tray. The lady that was running the meeting, it looked like she just wanted to fucking yell at him, but she was just like, I guess it's just in her brain wasn't worth it. And quite frankly, it wasn't. I had to give the guy credit for even just trying this elaborate trick. So the remainder of the meeting went on, everything was fine, whatever. I go back to my desk. About an hour later, I received a group email saying, in the future, please be mindful of snacking during meetings. I'm hoping that Bob breaks this because it's going to create more beautiful stories for you guys. So, something about watching a grown man unhinge his mouth like a snake to eat a pickle is life-changing, and I think it drives my point further that pickles are disgusting. On today's video, we're going to be talking about two Viseart palettes, the Golden Hour palette, which came out sometime last year, and the Libertine palette, which I believe came out this year. And the reason why I purchased these guys is, one, is that I've always really wanted to try more Viseart stuff. It's just Viseart's price point is so fucking high. High. And this particular Sephora sale, a lot of their palettes were normally either $49 or either $39 or $80 that were $64. And plus you can get either an additional 15 or 20% off depending on what your member status is in Sephora. Now, the reason why I picked up the Golden Hour one is that last year I really wanted it. I remember Jen Loves Reviews talk about this extensively, and she swore by this palette. The first Viseart palette that I ever purchased was actually like the little petite palettes, Petite Pro Palette 1. And I mean, honestly, they're very beautiful. They're very beautiful neutral colors, like nothing too crazy. But for me, the quality on this is okay. I don't think it's great. So I think that's what I was always a little trepidatious about spending any additional money in this brand. However, reading a lot of reviews, a lot of people said that this formula isn't quite the same as the formula of the other palettes. So I figured, you know what, fuck it. Why not purchase a couple of their palettes and really try them out? Because if I really like these, then maybe I'll gravitate towards the $80 to the $150 palette. Let's talk about the Golden Hour first, only because this palette's been out and whatever. This normally retails for $49. I picked it up for $39 and then got an additional 20% off. So I basically got I feel like I got a good deal with it. Before I give you my thoughts, let me read you a little bit about the palette. Retails for $49. A 9-pan palette of highly pigmented eyeshadows. Viseart's proprietary creamy, long-lasting eyeshadow formula is featured in an essential 9-pan palette with a full-size vanity mirror, inspired by the unique twilight colors and hues of Paris during the Golden Hour. Each easy-to-blend shade can be combined to create infinite looks. The palette features matte and shimmer finishes for creating depth and dimension. The packaging on the palette is absolutely beautiful. I love this like pale gold bronzy finish. It's very nice, it's very sturdy. I love the outside packaging of like this very soft, kind of like rubbery plastic feel almost. I don't know, it's just really beautiful. And the palette itself has a wonderful lock. So if you decide to have a Naomi Campbell moment and decide to hit somebody with this will definitely stay intact. You get this beautiful full-size mirror, and you get this awesome shade protector, which actually can come out of the palette if you didn't want it. I don't know why you would, because I like that. The shade names are on here, and it actually kind of keeps the palette intact, so you're not getting product everywhere. So I actually thought that was a really nice touch. I feel like all brands should fucking do that, because this is actually wonderful. And actually opens up wide enough so you don't feel like this is always constantly getting in the way, like the Natasha Denona palettes, and like I mentioned, you can completely remove it if you want to. I totally think that this palette is definitely worth the money, whether you're paying under $49 or $49. I definitely find that the eyeshadows were super creamy. They had like a beautiful like silky touch to them, wonderful pigment. I truly had no real issue with these eyeshadows. I think the shimmers are beautiful quality. They both work wet and dry. However, I like the wet look a little bit more, only because it has a little bit more of a pop of color to it. There was some kick up. There's some fallout. The fallout is incredibly easy to clean in this palette. Like I had a large fluffy brush, moved it away, no harm, no foul. Everything worked out perfectly. So it didn't bother me that there was fallout, because had I done my base first, it would definitely be an easy clean. I can understand why people really like Viseart eyeshadows. This does not compare to this thing. This thing is shit compared to this. I'm super impressed with it, and I really love the color story. I love this idea of like Paris at twilight hour. The colors on this palette are very work appropriate. They're also very appropriate for going out at night. So I was actually gonna pick up the Dose of Colors Mickey Mouse palette. However, kind of looking at this further and looking at the Dose of Colors palette, the color story is incredibly similar. So I am going to skip out on the Mickey Mouse palette and just keep this because essentially it looks like it's the same colors. Personally, just the colors is kind of hit or miss for me. Sometimes it works out very well and sometimes it just doesn't work at all. I'm happy with just staying with this and pretending that this is the Mickey Mouse palette. Worst case scenario, I could just fucking put a Mickey Mouse sticker on this palette and it'd be the same thing. Am I making sense? Probably not. Blame the cough medicine. I think if you have been on the fence about it, I would recommend picking this up. This is awesome. So the next palette we're going to be talking about is the Libertine palette. The Libertine palette retails for $49 and it's a 9-pan palette of highly pigmented eyeshadows. Liberate your eyes with matte and shimmer eyeshadows that elicit the free spirit nature of the non-conformist. The Libertine eyeshadow palette features 9 pans of pigmented, long-lasting eyeshadow in Viseart's proprietary beloved powder formula. So this palette, straight up off the bat, it definitely appears to look like the Golden Hour palette. However, the back case is hard plastic. I feel like this palette's a little bit more secure than this one. It has that beautiful like coppery tin that has the Viseart logo, the little makeup chair, and it just says Libertine on here. When you open her up, same kind of bullshit. You get the beautiful long mirror. You do get the shadow protector. I just don't know where the fuck I put it right now. Somewhere. But whatever, when I do find it, I'm going to put it back into the palette where it belongs. And you get 9 beautiful shades. Kind of ranging more towards like purple, I would say. But you do have that beautiful pop of blue and green in the corner. I wanted to like this a little bit more because I feel like it's not the same formula as the Golden Hour palette. And I say that because the Golden Hour palette, as soon as I touched them, they felt very smooth and soft. Some shadows had a soft feel to them while others had a little bit of a texture or a little bit of a grit, which I personally don't like. Like if I'm going to use an eyeshadow, I want something very smooth and buttery on my eyelids and not something that has a little bit of texture because to me that's annoying. I played with this palette twice and the first time I hated it. I really did not like it because I felt like everything that I was creating just looked fucking muddy and gross. I liked what I came up with this time. However, there's a couple things that I'm not happy about. So first and foremost, you're going to get kick up, you're going to get fallout. The fallout for this guy is harder to clean. It sucks. It's the kind of fallout that leaves remnants, so you're definitely going to have like that blue-green cast. Looks like somebody punched you in the fucking face. So I would advise you, if you are to get this palette, do your eye makeup first and then your base later. When I first played with these eyeshadows, right, they were beautifully pigmented. They had a lot of pigment, they had a lot of color. I was able to blend them out. Everything was fine. The more that I've been standing here doing this now, I think it's kind of going on the 2-hour mark. I feel like the color is just disappearing. That beautiful purple that I had in my crease, I feel like it's gone. And I don't necessarily know if the camera is going to pick this up, and I really hope it does. Otherwise, it looks like I'm fucking crazy. I don't know. It used to be a lot brighter, and now it's a little bit more muted and a little bit more patchier, especially like over here. I don't know. The blue shadow, by the way, I tried putting in the lower lash lines. I fucked it up and I really tried to like just kind of buff it out. Instead, it looked like cool Q chalk all over my fucking face, so I had to go in with some more concealer. So that's why it might look a little funny down here. But I think that navy blue color, that is very beautiful. I think it's the kind of color that you just pack on and you leave it alone. You don't blend it out because otherwise you kind of get that cool Q mess. I love the color story of this palette. I think it's very beautiful. It's just I wish I liked the quality of it a little bit more. I'm a little confused because on the Sephora website, there are only 4 or 5-star reviews and they're all like, it's wonderful pigment and it blends out beautifully, long lasting, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like I'm not experiencing any of that. Granted, I could also have a shit palette. That's very common these days, as we all know with Jaclyn Hill palettes. But I don't know if that is really the case. Definitely going to give this another chance though and play around with this a little bit more. However, what I will say right off the bat, I feel like these colors now of late, these purples and greens are kind of popping up everywhere. If you were thinking about picking up this palette, right, but you were also thinking of picking up, say, the Jeffree Star Alien palette or the James Charles Morphe palette, just based off of today, my preference would be go with either Jeffree Star or James Charles. Don't really look at this. I don't think the quality is as good. If you had a choice between these 2 palettes, I would say Golden Hour all the way and don't bother with this one. But that is just my feelings right now because I'm not having a good time with it. Now with that said, I did use it with a concealer base, no other primer, so I don't know if maybe that's the issue. Obviously, if you guys, see that I'm doing something wrong, let me know down below. I will not take offense to it because I am not a makeup artist, like you guys know. I'm simply a makeup enthusiast. If there's something that I'm not doing right, just let me know down below. That's the only way I'll learn is if somebody tells me. You can only get so far with YouTube tutorials, especially when they fucking do their makeup like 15 feet away and you don't see what they're doing. There's some shade right there, or whatever. That's also to no one in particular. I find that like the bigger beauty gurus tell like they're like a good distance away from the camera and you can't see shit. And I'm like, come on guys, like we all know you got fucking wrinkles, like it's fine. We all know you got botched Botox, whatever. Just let me see how you fucking putting that color in your crease, girl. Like calm down. I am gonna come out with like some series of like kind of like work tutorials. I'll probably kind of keep them a little bit quicker videos, and I definitely am going to be doing some get readies with me and stuff like that because you guys have requested it, and I'm listening, I hear you guys, and I'm going to do it. It's just I'm not going to do it right now because I don't feel very well, and you have no idea how many times I had to stop recording because I went on a fucking 15-minute tangent about something that had nothing to do with makeup. So I don't feel good. But whatever. Anyway, those videos will be coming, and I'm going to try this palette out again and try to do more looks with it and stuff like that. So if you're thinking about purchasing anything from Viseart, honestly, just really, the golden hour is wonderful. It's beautiful. This, right now, not so much, but my thoughts could change when I use it a little bit more. So, all right. Anyway, I guess that's about it. I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It's free. And hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And I'll see you little pumpkins later. Bye.